Out-of-control wildfires are burning in parts of the province, and while there's some relief on the way, courtesy of rainy weather, officials say the situation remains fluid. One area in particular, the municipality of Lac du Bonnet, is dealing with a wildfire that killed 2 people earlier this week. That fire has reached 4,000 hectares. Residents are being allowed to come back to a section of the area, but businesses remain closed. And I'm joined now by the reeve of Lac du Bonnet, Loren Schinkel. Mr. Reeve, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Good morning, my pleasure.
Now, let me ask, any updates on how the wildfire situation is going? What is the level of risk to your community right now?
Well, we still have several evacuation orders for different zones in place. We were just briefed by Wildfire Services Manitoba, as well as our emergency measures. And those areas, unfortunately, are going to stay closed. Although the fire's in a controlled area, contained, it's still out of control. We have numerous hot spots within that fire. We have some to the north end of the fire, and that's 8,400 acres, as you mentioned, right now. And then we have some peat moss fires blowing in, burning in that southern area that we're dealing with. There's several ground crews in that area, as well as some heavy equipment working. So unfortunately, we won't be able to open up the other evacuation zones today. Certainly, Mother Nature has been cooperating, and we'll take any precipitation, snow, etc., that she can send our way. But it's been a difficult situation, particularly with the loss of 2 of our residents, and we're in mourning over that. But we do see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We ask our residents to be ever more vigilant and be a little bit more patient, because we know it's a long weekend and we want to get you back in as soon as possible, but it has to be safe.
Now, of course, the situation is fast-moving, and a lot of changes can happen on a dime, of course, but what can residents expect in the coming days?
Well, we're hoping as we move through this, I mean, we're in day number 4 here. And every day it seems to get a little bit better. It's yesterday we had precipitation, certainly not as much as we require in the area, but at the end we still have a lot of ground crews, and it's a fluid situation. We have Manitoba Hydro working to restore some of the electrical. We had over 100 poles and wires down and transformers in that area. They're working through that, as well as our public works people are in there doing assessments of the work and actually assisting with some of the road reconstruction that's required. And the personnel on the ground, the volunteers and the various fire departments through our region have been remarkable assisting us. I just can't say enough about the volunteers that have really changed the course of this crisis that we're facing.
And in light of the tragic deaths this week, has that changed the way your community is responding to the fires, or will anything be looked at after the situation is over in terms of the response?
Well, as with any major situation, we had been anticipating this, unfortunately, for several years. We'd been working with certainly provincial officials. We had a Fire Smart program in here. We'd been doing presentation to the various cottage groups in our area. And it wasn't a matter of if it was going to happen, it was when it was going to happen. And unfortunately, here we are today. At the end of this terrible situation, we're certainly going to be doing a complete, thorough evaluation. Could we do things better in some areas? Perhaps. But it's a fluid situation, like you say now. I happened to be into that fire zone yesterday for the first time, and I can tell you that there's no words that can describe some of the damage and destruction in that area. We've had remarkable support from the province. Premier Canoe was out here. Various ministers had called me. The Minister of Municipal Relations called me the first day. It's just been amazing, the volunteerism in our community, the businesses that have stepped up, the contractors that are assisting us on the front line. And there's so many unsung heroes in our communities when it comes to saving structures that I've heard. It's remarkable. So, you know what? We're getting through this as a community. We're mourning as a community about the loss of our 2 fine residents. And all we can say is our thoughts and prayers are with everyone. Just bear with us as we continue to work our way through this to make sure it's safe for all of our residents to return.
All right. We'll have to leave it there. Loren, thank you very much for your time. That is Loren Schinkel, the reeve of Lac du Bonnet.
Thank you.